Hello students, welcome to video lecture on web technology and its applications. This is the course overview and course outcome. We were discussing about keyboard events and mouse events in the last video lecture. Today we'll see on form and frame events. So these are the different events associated with the form: on blur, on change, on focus, on reset, select and submit. The names itself tell that when it is blur, when any of the key is not pressed, then it is blur event. Change, when something has been changed into any element. When we have taken mouse over it, opposite to a blur. On reset, when we have clicked on reset button. When we have chosen any of the option or selected some text, then on select is the event that happens. Submit, when we click on submit button. So how to use this in coding, we'll see the example. So we have used document.getElement by id through the name of the form. On submit, when it is submitted, a function is called. The definition of the function is written here itself. A password field is empty, then we are saying enter a password and preventing the default submission. Prevent default is default button of default action of submit is submitting it to the user, submitting the user data to the server, but that is prevented here if password is nil or null string. So now we'll see the frame events. So these are related to the frames. The most important event is an onload event, that is when an object is loaded onto the browser. So the way it is called is window.onload, and the function inside that you can write the JavaScript code, or else you are giving a call to the function and the function definition is written somewhere in the JavaScript part. So these are the different events which are attached with the frames, like on about, when as I said it is related with loading of a page. So on about is when it is object is stopped from loading. On error, when some error happens while loading. On load, when it has loaded successfully. When the window is resized, then on resize. On scroll, when it is scrolled. Unload, when the document has been removed, that is unloaded. So these are the different events associated with the frames. As I told, it is frames are not encouraged in HTML latest versions and XHTML. So there is no much explanation related to this. So let us go to forms. Mainly in this we'll see how to validate a form. So many a times we require form validation, including email, number and date validation. So here is an example where a simple validation is required. When it is submitted, you are checking that user name value of that is taken. It is not null, either through writing as NULL or it is not empty. Then preventing a default action of the submit button, and you are displaying a message to the user as you must enter a username. That is done through alert function. In order to ensure that checkbox is selected, what you are doing is you know that how to access that elements of JavaScript is you are assigning a variable to the return value of getElement by id function. Then that you are checking whether it is checkbox. If it is checkbox, then it should be checked. One of the options should be checked. Then you can write the valid message here. Otherwise, if it is none of them is checked, then you can alert a message to the user as you have to select at least one option among this. Similarly, you are checking for any numeric value. If you have a text box and you want to make it numeric compulsorily, like a phone number is numeric, you are checking. If it is returning true, then you are displaying a parse error and saying that if it is numeric, then you are checking whether it is a proper number or not, and it should be a finite number, so that you are testing here. So there are many ways to notify the user about the errors that he has done while filling the forms. Like here in this example, you can observe here is written as 4534. You are displaying a message in the document itself saying that it should be between so and so. It should be up to 2020 or something like that. So here for a height you are saying that painting height must be a valid number, it should be a larger than 0, whereas here it is written with some alphabets. So this way you can notify the user. There are many ways of input validation also, like types of input validation, like you are checking whether the users are entering the required information or not. You need to, it cannot be left as empty, so you are checking whether the value is null. So whether they have chosen the correct data type, that is another kind of type of input validation. Whether it is format, like you are saying asking to enter the postal code, it should be of 6 digit only. Your Aadhaar number, which should be of a particular number of digits, I think 12 digits only. So you are checking it against a pattern rule. Like USN, it should have in the beginning region code and then the college code. So these are all the correct format relevant. Apart from this, you are checking it with comparison with respect to entered values. Like you want to create a new password through a form, then you are asking the user to enter it twice. So when it is user is entering second time, the two passwords are mismatched, two entered values are not identical, then you can display a message. You can mention a range check, like the number should be between so and so. Say for example, I am collecting the details of B division students, that should lie between 61 to 122 only, right? So that you are validating. Range checking is done. B division student cannot enter his roll number as 1, right? So this kind of checkings can be done. Apart from this, you can also have a custom validation, which are more complex, like our USN validation. So these are all different types of input validation. And how do you notify the user? Like what is the problem you are telling, where is the problem, if it is appropriate, the data is appropriate, how to fix it, that you are telling. Here is an illustrative example. Here the title is left as blank, so you are telling where is the problem. That problem is at title field, and the problem is it should not be left as blank. Here in year field, you are saying the problem is at year, the user has entered the data but it is not matching, it is not a valid data, it must be between a certain range. Similarly here also you are telling. So how to reduce the validation errors? So before entering only, you can give the user the proper information so that the validation errors can be reduced to the user back. So you can use pop-ups, or you can give the textual hints to the user on the form itself, or you can provide tools or tips, or JavaScript based mask can be used. So what is the meaning of all the four, we'll see. So pop-ups, you are writing a placeholder text here, right? You are displaying a message at the bottom, like what should be entered, hint is given here. So you are using a placeholder and entering the hint to the user. This is one way. The other way is using the tools tip, pop-up tool tip. You are inserting a tool tip here with a question mark. When the user places a mouse over that, you are displaying a message over the hovered icon, so saying that it should be so and so. It's giving an instruction. Mask, like say if you are asked to enter the date of birth or something, you can tell that user should enter month first, date first, month then year. A year should be in 4 digit or 2 digit, by means of giving a format with the mask like this, where you are entering the date with a proper field mask. Apart from this, we have another option in HTML5 where you can choose a proper input type rather than commonly choosing a text box as date for date field, number for, so that will reduce the error to a greater extent. So this has to be validated at the submission of the form, and that's all about the JavaScript events. Thank you.